All right, welcome Hard Knocks, KK the Destroyer coming at you live from the ESPN 8 studio, the Ocho, bringing you all the Hard Knocks live news. And with me as always is Greg.
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
Finally, we've been able to catch up, set up a time. I know we're about 2 weeks late, so forgive us for our lackluster performance there, but
Life is busy.
yeah, life is hard. We've got lots of stuff to do and super important things to take care of. And we tried to be somewhat prepared this time. I mean, we got to do a better job every week. So I think, first off, we'll do the easy stuff, which is the playoff race. So we'll start in the AFC. Obviously, divisions are kind of division winners are pretty much set. So we're going to look more towards the wild cards and who we expect to come out. So AFC looks like there's going to be a really good team missing out, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC, I think the top 9 or 10 teams in the AFC are all pretty good. I mean, you and me, we're clinched. The Bills are basically clinched. But then you've got Sib, Mike, this new Bengals guy,
Right.
Rocky, Mikey, and then the new Broncos guy, all fighting for wild card spots, and it's unbelievable. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, Rocky and Mikey are fighting. I mean, they have the exact same record, and they're fighting for the division title. I mean, one of those two gets in no matter what.
Right. And the other could very well just be on the sidelines, just depending on how it goes.
Yeah, it depends on how Mike and this new Bengals guy finish their seasons.
Yeah. So, the new Bengals guy, God dang it, I gotta pull up his name so I can at least call him.
Taco.
Tank for Taco. There you go. Dude has been rattling off wins. I mean, he's on a 5-game win streak, and he came in off of Blazes, maybe had 3 wins.
Yeah, he didn't have too many.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing okay. I think he was kind of hit or miss. I think those 5 wins are his.
Yeah,
so
they are.
He's definitely doing well. I mean, that division's going to produce a wild card guaranteed.
Yeah, it should.
And then you got, like I said, Jags and Texans fighting tooth and nail. You were checking out their schedule earlier.
They both have a good chance to win out. Neither of them really play that tough schedule.
So you're looking at 2 11-5 teams out of that division.
2 11-5, yeah.
What about the Ravens Bengals? I mean, are they
so,
who had the tougher schedule?
The Bengals are 9-4 at this moment, but I put the hurt on him, and he ended up disconnecting. So he's going to be 9-5. And then I play the Ravens next week. I play Mike next week, and
You're going to give them both L's.
I think I'm gonna give him an L too. So they'd both be 9-5, but depends on if he wins this. Who do the Ravens play this week? Let's look here.
Actually, the Ravens, they have a bounty game against the Steelers. So there is a ton of bounty games going right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different bounty games.
Wow, there aren't even that many teams in the playoffs. Or are there? Yeah, there are. But
yeah.
Man,
well, I mean, there's a fair amount of so here's our bounty game setup. You got the Dolphins, the winless Dolphins, who's Dar, playing the Bills, who lead their division. And then you have the Colts. Well, I guess we can get to this in a moment because we're kind of looking at the wild card setup. So, anyhow, I do believe a wild card comes from your division, and if I had to guess, oh God, this is hard.
I think it'll be Mike.
I was going to say it was Mike, but I felt like that was such a homer thing to say because we know Mike. Okay. We don't know Tank for Taco.
Yep.
I mean,
check out Tank for Taco's last 3 games. He already played me, which was a loss. So there's 1. He has you next week.
Okay.
And then he's got Mike in week 17.
Okay.
I think if he loses to you, whether he beats Mike or not, I think it's over.
Yeah.
But if Mike loses to me, he ends up playing.
Okay, there you go.
He ends up playing. I mean, he beats the Steelers. He loses to me. Then he plays he'll be 1 game up on the Bengals. and he won the head-to-head against the Bengals earlier. So
Gotcha.
I mean, it'll come down to just the better division record.
Yeah. So I agree. I think I was gonna go with Mike, but I don't want to disrespect Tank for Taco and what he's doing with these Bengals. So, good luck there, bud. But I don't think so.
Yeah, you've got a brutal final 3 games.
So then we had the Texans, who may or may not make the playoffs, or Rocky, and then the Jets, who are at 9-4 right now. Sib, who 2 weeks ago was just like, oh, put me on auto. I'm not gonna finish this season.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's 9-4 because he got a sim win, and then I think he may have beat somebody. So
he beat Cy.
He beat Cy. Okay, so I mean, he's I think he was probably venting a bit, but
looks like he's playing right now.
Yeah, 9-4. I mean, this AFC is going to be tough, and then you got White Boy over here with the Broncos, 8-5.
That's who's playing Sib right now. They're playing right now.
Are they playing right now?
They started it anyway.
We need live stream updates at this point.
Yeah, we need updates here, guys. This is a playoff match right here.
Yeah, and right now, you said he's playing Cy?
He's playing the White Boy Broncos right now. He beat Cy.
No, Broncos is playing who?
Sib right now.
Oh, Sib. Oh, okay, that's a big matchup.
Yeah, that's playoff contention.
Yeah,
right there.
for sure. So, I don't know, man. I think the AFC is gonna have a winning record team miss the playoffs and be super salty when they look at the NFC and see the trash that's coming out of the NFC. I mean, look at this NFC North. You got the Lions, Ilstein, leading with 7-6. I mean, and Jordan Benson is sitting there at 6-6 with a legit shot to win this division.
And Joe too.
Joe, yeah. I mean, Joe's not even out of the playoffs yet. I mean, Coach, we all know, is
just tanking.
He's tanking.
He gave up.
Yeah, but you know what? He won the division last year with wasn't he 9-7?
Yeah, he went in 9-7 last
year. I mean, it's not like he was really dominating the division. I think it was just convenient that he's tanking this year because he took some losses early, and now he's just oh, I'm tanking. But really, Ilstein just came in and smacked him around.
I'm impressed with Benson too.
Yeah.
He's typically been kind of towards the bottom, but now he's fighting at the top.
Yeah, for sure. He's trying to get it together. So, and then you jump into the NFC South. So you got the Panthers sitting there at 9-4. Obviously, freshly baked buns. I think that's his name.
Yeah, look what he's done since he
at
came
the Saints.
FYI.
Yeah.
You see that streak?
Oh, you mean the Panthers, JJ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, since he's came in, he's been laying it down. I think at one point he beat me in his second game. Yeah, he's got a 9-game win streak. So he's doing well. I mean, look at his points for. I mean, he's scoring nearly double. Same thing with the Saints too. Yeah. And then I mean, this is a really good division for the NFC with the Falcons, who is who we got there.
I can't remember who the Falcons is.
Dang it! I had the Madden app, and now it's not wanting to work with me here, which kind of pisses me off.
Falcons.
F off EA.
1 sec here.
So let's see here.
Sir Taddy.
Oh, yeah, Jernigan.
He's the one who just beat the Saints.
Yes, and so props to the Falcons for beating the Saints. That was a bounty game, and we'll get more to that later. But that's a big one. And I mean, he's still 7-7, but I kind of feel like he's out of the playoff race. That's why I gave him a bounty game. I mean, he was 6-7 coming into the game, and his game affects the division leader here. So that's why I wanted to make sure he had some incentive to play, and he came in and smacked him around a bit. So
yeah.
And then we got the other terrible division in the NFC, which is the East, with the Cowboys sitting at 7-5. And I gotta say, I'm super disappointed in the Cowboys. Nova can't ball. Apparently can't ball either.
Dude only lost 1 game last year before the playoffs, I think, or 2 games maybe, and just having a down season.
I guess
Zeke
so.
was hurt, right? Something like that.
No, I don't think he was actually really hurt. I think he was trying to trade Zeke and never really got a buyer.
Yeah.
And so he was trying to get somebody else going, but still, I mean, 7-6 with the Cowboys. I mean, come on now. And then you got Itman coming in at 6-7. I mean, he's a game back. I mean, he's got a chance at winning this. So Danny's got a shot. And I mean, theoretically, the Giants still have a shot, but that's kind of tough to say. I think,
unlikely, yeah.
Yeah, I think Nova will pull out the rest of the season. You happen to have his schedule coming up?
Yeah, I can get it for you. 1 second.
Be curious to see.
I know he plays Danny this week.
Ooh, that's a big game then. Big game for Danny.
I don't think he'll lose that one, but he's got a very winnable last 3 games. Danny, the Steelers, and the Bucks. Jewel.
Poor Jewel having a down season here.
Yeah, she's.
I can't believe.
Hey,
can't
she
believe
made the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah,
so.
Throw shade at Jewel right now. I mean, that's crazy. She won the division last year, and now you're like, oh, he's got a winnable schedule. So I think this is anybody's division at this point, but definitely not a wild card coming out of there because you got a wild card already locked up in the NFC West with the Seahawks. I mean, I feel like we assume Penalty's not going to lose another game. I mean, he's gone last season undefeated, and then now he lost 1 game last year, and it was to the Seahawks.
Jets. Stib just beat the Broncos 38-35.
Oh,
so
wow!
He is 10-4 now. That's 1 step closer to clinching there. I think he's probably got a wild card locked down.
Wow, White boy, how the mighty have fallen. Sib.
And that's big for you because that probably you clinch your division with his loss. Yeah, that's 6 losses for him. Yeah, you just clinch your division without even playing.
Man. And look at that, Sib. You were just sitting there pissing and moaning about one bad game, saying I'm going on auto, and now you have a wild card spot probably locked up. What a baby.
Unless I let Mike beat me next week, I mean.
Just to make it interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I've got it clinched. I've basically got the 1 clinched in the AFC, so.
Yeah. So, going back to the wild card race in the NFC, I mean, obviously, Seahawks or Niners is getting 1, but we assume it's going to be the Seahawks. And then you're going to just jump back into the NFC South, where you got the Panthers more than likely pulling down another wild card. I mean, the dude's on a 9-win streak. I mean, sorry guys, it's over.
I think the NFC playoffs, that'll be fun to watch. Those top 4 teams, I think, are good.
Yeah, and you know what, Coach? I'm going to call you out right now. You have a game against the Panthers. You have a bounty. If you want any respect at all as to, hey, you made the playoffs last year, come in, play this man, beat him, beat his ass, get a bounty reward, and then go about your business. Like, I can't believe you would let this guy come in here and just take a wild card spot. So here we go. I guess it's pretty simple at this point. We're thinking Panthers, Seahawks in the AFC or in the NFC, and then the AFC is just a total mess. We have no idea.
The only thing we know for sure are the top 2 seeds, I think.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, the reason I started the bounty program was to try to get users that weren't really, going to have a playoff season for themselves, but you affect the league. I mean, you affect everybody else getting those playoff spots. So, I mean, get in there, mix it up, get a reward, and take down some of these teams that are vying for playoff spots. So, we'll look at the bounty games this week, which we got the Finns and the Bills, the Colts, the Lions, and I mean, that one I even almost struggled to put on as a bounty because the Colts are aren't they vying for a playoff spot?
I the AFC South.
Maybe
I don't
not.
know.
No, they're not.
That's
Okay,
the-
that's what
yeah,
it
that's
is.
the Texans,
It's
Jags.
not that they are. It's just that the Lions are sitting atop their division. So, like, if the Colts play this game, I mean, they can impact that division and ruin Ilstein's day.
Maybe ruin his season.
Yeah, maybe ruin the season. I mean, McGreatness has been in the league for a while, and he
knows how
can
to
win.
play,
Yeah, I mean, like, get in there. Yeah, you're 3-10, but what's the difference between picking like 5th and 8th? I mean, it's not really that big. I think this year our rookie draft class
Drafts are weak anyway.
well, we imported the draft class, so it's going to be a little better. But I think across the board, everything will be better.
Yeah.
So, it's not like you're going to, miss out on some elite prospect at 5 or 8 versus 10. I mean, obviously it's relative, but, I mean, get in there, mix it up. Beat his ass. Ruin his season. And then you got the Steelers, Ravens, which, Green could mix it up there, ruin Mike's day. I mean, the guy's beating other
his
players.
season would be over if he loses to the Steelers and then he loses to me. Be over real quick. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be motivation. I mean, take some pride and beat somebody. And then we talked about the Vikings, Panthers, and then you got the Saints, Falcons, which the Falcons came out and beat the Saints. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're asking for. And then you got Cy with the playing the Seahawks. I mean, obviously Cy's season's over. He needs to get in there, and I mean,
I
he
feel
could.
really bad for Cy.
Yeah.
And the Rams too. They have the toughest division to play.
Right. And then you got Racco playing the Texans. Another game that's huge. I mean, any one of those teams that takes a loss right now is going to be brutal. And then you got Jabbar playing me, which, I mean, that's a bounty game, so we'll see. I mean, that could just help somebody else. And then Rams.
Jabbar even plays you.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, he did try to schedule. I'll give him credit. He posted in chat that he was trying to schedule. And then you get the Rams-Niners, which, Ragnar having a bad season for sure. And that's a tough ticket to punch right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jags-Packers, so Joe's got to get in there and beat Rocky.
That's doable.
Yeah.
Joe plays some people tough.
He can, and we know Rocky makes all kinds of mistakes, so...
And blames it on Madden.
Yeah, he blames it on
Stupid
Matt. He flames it. He flames chat. He's like, "Oh my god, the guy's going for it." I'm like, "Hey, did you stream?" No. Oh, okay. Well, then shut up.
That's about how it is.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. So, we'll go ahead and move on to your top 10. Greg's hierarchy.
Power rankings, yeah. They haven't changed a whole lot. I mean, some of the standings kind of solidified themselves over the past. We haven't streamed. We didn't do a radio show in 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll start at number 10. I've got Sib.
Oof.
He's now 10-4 now.
10-4,
so,
yeah.
I mean, you're 10-4 at number 10. That means the talent ahead of you must be pretty good, right?
Right.
He just won a big game against the Broncos too, so kudos to him being on there because the Broncos are not on my top 10. So I picked that right.
Nice.
Number 9, and I may regret this, he might be higher, but I've got the Panthers
Yeah.
at 9-4, and like we said, he's won 9 straight.
Yeah, I know.
Just seems to be
Especially
a really good
considering he's won 9 straight, he really should be higher. But I mean, I'll reserve judgment at this point because
Yeah,
I mean, there's some good teams out there.
I've got. So this was done before I played the Bengals today. So we have the Ravens at 8, which is Mike, and he's
Yeah.
sitting at 9-4 too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7 is the Bengals.
I would say
I may have overstated him.
going back to the Ravens, I feel like Mike's gaining the benefit of being a veteran of the league. Like, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Somebody's
because
been around a while.
yeah, he's been around a while. We know he can play, but then when you like compare him to what the Panthers are doing right now, like, you know, I think he's a little inflated. But go on. You said the Bengals are number what?
7. The
Seven.
Bengals were 7. You know, he came in, went on a 5-game winning streak, and then we hopped into a game today, and I kind of I put him on blast for one half, and then just disconnected. So I feel like that maybe was a little high for him, but I was high on him until
Well, yeah. I mean,
after what happened tonight. You know,
he's
he
been
won
blowing
5
it
in a
up
row.
for sure.
Yeah. So here on in is where it gets kind of crazy. I've got the Bills at 6. And the last time we did this, he was unranked, and he was talking about how he wanted to get into the top 10, and he did. He broke in at number 6. He's been winning like a
been
ton
killing
of
it.
games. I think he just lost his last one. He was 10-2.
Chunk Dirty. That's his Discord name. So
Chunk Dirty.
yeah, he's always talking about his erection in chat. It's weird.
Yes. Oh shit. At number 5, I have the Saints, who actually just lost to the the Falcons today.
To the Falcons, yeah.
I still think he's a good number 5 spot.
Yeah, for sure. If I would say anything, I mean he beat me this season, so he should technically be ranked over me.
Oh yeah.
So, but then he did just lose to the Falcons, who weren't really competing for a playoff spot. So, you know, did he take a game off? What's happening there?
Yeah. Good play style.
Yeah, just bad matchup for me, maybe.
Yeah. Number 4, I have you, Chargers.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 11-2. You've won 3 in a row, and you're probably gonna win your game against Jabbar. So
yeah,
everything's looking good for you. You're gonna clinch your division. You'll probably finish the season with either 2 or 3 losses. Maybe you drop one more. I'm not sure, but
yeah. I didn't see what my schedule is. I can go pop in and look at that real quick while you're doing this.
Yeah, go for it. So number 3 right now, I have the Seahawks.
Right.
And I battled back and forth between me, number 3, him, number 3, you know, who gets 2 and who gets 1. So I basically based it just on our overall record.
Right.
I mean, I've allowed 2 more points than him, and I've scored 6 more points than him.
So basically a dead heat.
We are neck and neck, and I've only played him once, and he did beat me once head-to-head. That was last year, the very first game that he came in, actually, to the league. I know, because I flamed you for it.
I remember that. You're like, why didn't I get the Force Away? What's going on?
Why are you adding somebody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it funny how it seems like when we add somebody new, they wind up being good?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every time I add somebody and then I have to play him, I'm like, man, why is this guy got to be so good? It's like the first time you joined the league.
Oh, man.
Like the
That was a
first
rough
time.
division.
Yeah, it was. You joined the league, and I'm like, oh, whatever, we got some new guy. And then you come in and you beat me. I'm like, man, why is he got to join my division? That's messed up.
I could never get past ball and terps.
Yeah, that guy. He's ridiculous.
Tight ends all over. Tight ends at wide receiver throwing pitches.
Yeah, we had to make rules for that because of that stupid ass stuff. But anyhow, so you are Seahawks is 3.
Seahawks is 3. I'm number 2.
You're number 2.
I'm undefeated. So I mean,
right.
And then number 1 is the defending champion, and he probably will not drop from number 1 unless he loses. And he knows. I mean, he knows.
Even if he lost at this point, I mean, he's going nearly undefeated. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, until somebody can like split games with him, like the Seahawks, if they can split games with him every season, maybe. So
yeah, they play another game because Seahawks only has 1 loss, and they play 2 times a year.
It's probably him, right?
Yeah. It is. Penn's the only team to beat him.
Yeah. And so my final 3 games is against the Patriots, then the Bengals, and then the Jets. So I get to play tank. Yeah, I get to play tank for Taco and the Jets. So I'm going to have 2 out of 3 that are really going to want to win. So those are going to be really good games. I'll be anxious to play against them.
This is always more fun when it's competitive.
Absolutely. I definitely like that my schedule is tough down the stretch. So I would definitely say I agree with most of what you're saying. I mean, like, I can't really pick anything apart other than in hindsight, you know, now that we get to see a little bit of what happened with the Jets game, that kind of stuff. So I think you're right on. Curiously enough, I'm going to pull up Daddy Leagues real quick and see what they had to say about the power rankings.
Oh, yeah, they have their own power rankings. That's right.
See how
that's like.
far off they are. Quickly, though, do you have the change from what they were last? The power rankings?
The first time I did it, I do have a change. I mean, I can tell you what the top 10 were the last time.
Maybe not tell us the top 10, but just see, like, who are the biggest movers and shakers out of that?
Well, I only did the top 10, but, so the ones that fell out of the top 10...
Chiefs! Rebels trash.
Yeah, actually, the Chiefs are the only one that fell out of the top 10.
Yeah, weird.
The Jets went from 7 to 10. The Bills, the Panthers jumped into the top 10. They were previously not in it. And neither were the Bengals. The Bengals also jumped into it. So there were a lot of big movers up.
Okay, so here's what I'll say is your top 3 are dead on. So you got the Niners at number 1, you at number 2, the Seahawks at 3.
Okay.
And then you got the Saints at 4, the Chargers at 5, the Panthers at 6, the Jets at 7, the Bills at 8, the Ravens at 9, and the Broncos at 10.
No Jets in there? Did you
No,
say
Jets were 7. Yeah, they were
Jets
7.
Were 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are those all the same teams? Seems like it. Except for the Broncos, yeah. So,
yep.
Kind of funny, but yeah, I approve.
A little bit of a different order after the top 3, but roughly the same translation.
So, moving on to a segment that we'll call Fool's Gold. I'm a fan of Colin Coward, so that's kind of one of his phrases that he brings up for the first half of the season. Granted, we're way past that, but I still think it applies. So, these are teams that are deceptively, like, in the running for playoffs, but I don't think are really that good. And
I'm gonna hurt some feelings.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurt some feelings here. I think it's Sib with the Jets. I mean, I realize he's got a winning record. He just did pull off a very good win against who was it again?
The Broncos.
The Broncos. But this kind of dovetails into what I'm saying is, like, I think his record is somewhat inflated. I don't know that he's really played that many people that have been that good. I think he's got a benefit of a soft schedule, and he's just been really inconsistent. And the fact that he just beat the Broncos only proves my point that the Broncos are fool's gold too, because they were second on my list. You know, they really came in strong, but then it faded. I mean, what are the Broncos' record right now?
I'm not trying to discredit you, but you know what Sib's 4 losses are?
No, what is it?
He's got 2 losses to the Bills,
right?
Who are what?
10-3, or
10-3.
Yeah, 10-3.
And then he lost a penalty, and he lost to the Seahawks.
Wow, that's tough. So what was he whining about then?
I mean, he lost to arguably
some of the best players in the league.
Players in the league. He's beat everybody else. He beat Blaze when Blaze was here. He beat your brother. He whipped Mikey. He beat Jabbar. He beat the Raiders. He beat Dario. He beat Cy, and then he just beat the Broncos. I mean, he has a chance to beat. He could beat Jabbar.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
And then
if Jabbar
maybe
even
win or
plays.
lose to he could maybe win or lose to you. And
yeah, so I guess you know what?
With 12 wins this year.
I'm gonna have to put my money where my mouth is, because I'm gonna play him week 17. So that's a big game, Sib. You can just prove me wrong.
The other thing is he almost beat the Bills. He lost by 3 points in one game, and he lost by 7 points in another game. So he's playing the Bills tough.
Yeah. So back to the Broncos. I mean, they started out reasonably well. but then have just really faded off and just aren't really having a good season. I think they're pretty much. I mean, nobody's really eliminated in the NFC as of yet, or AFC. My God, too many shots. Let's see, the Broncos at 8-6. I mean, he can still make playoffs, so it's not really that big of a deal. But like, I had really high expectations for him, I guess, and to have 6 losses at this point in the season is not great.
Yeah, he closes out against Rocky and the Bills too, so he could end up going 8-8.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
And then you get the Lions, Ilstein in the NFC, and you know he's just got the benefit of being in a division where 7 wins is going to win the division. I mean, going forward, I mean he's got a 1-game lead, and the thing that really stuck out to me is he's got 280 points for, 369 against. So
that doesn't add up.
Yeah, the math isn't quite right.
Yeah.
But he did beat Mikey. So it's like, what is happening there?
I think Mikey's just struggling right now. I don't know.
Something. I mean, maybe it's a bad matchup for him. But
something's going on.
Yeah, something's not right there. And then you got the Cowboys rounding out my what is that, 4 teams that I think are just not as good as I thought they were. I mean, you got the Cowboys with that great O-line. You got Zeke. I mean, you got a pretty well-rated team, and you're putting up 7-5. Like, that doesn't seem right.
I think he wins his last 3 games, takes the NFC East, and I think that he will end up going to the NFC Championship game and losing to penalty again.
Whoa.
That'll be a repeat of the NFC Championship.
Whoa, you
That's
think? That's your prediction?
Yep, that's my prediction.
So you're saying the Saints and the Panthers are not going to make that NFC Championship game?
No.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Dang. See, I don't know that I've really played. I don't think I've played the Cowboys, so I can't speak to it. But I've played both Saints and Panthers, and they both beat me. So for God's sake, I'm going to say one of those guys makes the NFC Championship game. And that's assuming, the Seahawks don't make it.
I think the Seahawks would have to play penalty.
Oh, will they?
That's my guess. I mean, you got
you're right.
1, 2, 3, and 4 are your division winners, and then he's automatically the 5 seed. And I guess unless the lower seeds win, resulting in Penn not having to play the Seahawks. If the 6 seed wins, then Penn plays the 6 seed, but in any other scenario, Penn will play the 5, 4, or the 3.
I mean, this final stretch is going to be really interesting, so I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it. Just want to get these last 3 weeks done with. Oof.
And then I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot, Greg. Do you have a hot take for either the NFC or the AFC?
Hot take.
A hot take, like I guess one would be, your hot take might be the Seahawks won't make the NFC Championship game.
Well, I don't think they will make it.
Yeah, I mean, like
as long as he has to run into penalty, I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's just not going to make it.
Yeah, which totally sucks because he's probably the 2nd best player in the league. He's just stuck behind the best player in the league.
Right.
I've never seen that like that, where the 2 best players are in one division. It's absolutely insanity.
Yeah, that's crazy.
AFC hot take, I think we're in the same conference, so this sucks, but
yeah,
I say the Browns go to the AFC Championship unchallenged. No game will be won by less than 14 points.
Oof. Dang.
I mean, I don't think I've had a close game yet, besides
Texans.
The Texans squeaked me out. Big time.
I watched most of that game. That was a tight game. Like there was some moment there where I thought you were going to take your first loss. I thought the key swing was when he runs an RPO and it gets batted down at the line and it's ruled a fumble and you pick it up. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was some juice right there. because I've had RPOs batted down and never have they been ruled fumbles.
The only I'm not much on excuses. I don't like to make excuses, but Call of Duty came out, and I've been just going hard on Call of Duty. So my Madden skills, like I can tell. I was playing him, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm making so many mistakes. I think I threw 3 picks.
Yeah, there was a lot of picks
I'm making
there.
so many mistakes.
Yeah, but then you also made some big plays too. Like you picked off, when he was in like a stack formation out on the left-hand side. And he made some good plays too. So it was a real game. And at that moment, I thought, this is not going to go Greg's way. So that was a fun game to watch.
I mean,
and
he outplayed me on offense. But you can't expect to win when you turn the ball over 5 times.
That's always my excuse. I'm like, I can't win if I'm throwing 5 interceptions.
Yeah. He threw 4.
And then we'll go ahead and round out the show here with the Hard Knocks Fantasy. So I've been kind of keeping track of a lot of these scores, and man, the Bengals. So Tank for Tacos Brissett has been just an absolute solid start for like the last 4 weeks. The dude's putting up 30, and let's see what else we got here. Got to find my papers, but he's throwing up 30s and 33s, 21s. He's just consistently up there. And then you get to stack him with the John Ross, who's putting up 21s for wide receivers, which is really good.
He wouldn't have this week if anybody picked him. I'm sorry.
Oh, you were locking him down. Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's a sim. It'll be a sim now.
It'll be a sim now.
Maybe he'll go off, but...
Yeah, so he put up 36 in 1 week, like 242 yards, 3 TDs. It was craziness. And then you, Greg, with your Kareem Hunt, you're like hit and miss. Like some days it's like 28 points, other days it's like 11. You're so inconsistent. You're not reliable at all. I was
gonna have a big day against I had in the first quarter it was like 68 yards and a touchdown with Hunt, but.
Yeah. See, if I'm being honest here, you're RB2, with upside. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Brissett is like a lockdown, and then Lamar, like Sim Lamar Jackson. Every Sim game that the Ravens have, is awesome. But you put Mike in a game, and the guy throws up like a stinker. Because I think he's had 20s and 21s in Sim games. Falcons have been another one with Matt Ryan putting up solid points. And for a while there, we had Deshaun Watson being a pretty regular starter, but it seems like he's it's not like he's tapered off, but people have kind of picked up on the fact that Brissett is kind of like that. He's the number one at this point. Him and Lamar kind of teeter back and forth. I was having a pretty good season with my quarterback, but then a few people chose him, and I just put up real stinkers with him, so it hasn't really worked out. And then, obviously, back to the wide receiver section. You got John Ross, who was locking it down. Tyreek Hill, who was Peanut Chutter. That's the Eagles guy. He found a way to use him quite a bit. And then Julio, which, that's Jernigan again. So, it's getting fairly predictable at this point who your starters are, but I think it does still remain pretty interesting when you have certain matchups. Like this week, you played, who did you play again?
Bengals.
The Bengals. Like this week, I'm pretty sure I didn't choose Jacoby Brissett. I went with somebody else because I'm like, well, Greg's got a great defense. He's going to lock him down. And so I think that adds quite a bit of real challenge to trying to figure it out.
Definitely.
And Lindsey was another one at running back. White boy's running back was killing it there for a while. But then I watched him just kind of fall off. And I think I might have hurt him in our game. But so he hasn't really been making too many lineups. And then Knox. It's basically about Knox, the Redskins tight end. Yeah, it's either the Redskins tight end or the Bills tight end. And it's kind of funny because I mean, Hawkinson has made a few really big weeks at 21 points and things like that, but he's so inconsistent. So, you know, I see a lot of knocks all the time. And then one thing I was worried about when setting this up was a tiebreaker. But it really hasn't been an issue because the kicker is effectively the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I mean, because you just never know from week to week who's going to have, you know, the most points as a kicker. So,
right.
But I think it's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of activity in all of those. And then, you know, Mikey wanted to get the Pick'ems thing set up, so we started doing that as well. Which, Mikey, I gotta say, where's our scoring for the last 2 weeks? Because I mean, we're almost to week 15, and you haven't scored it yet, or week 14. I don't even know where we're at. And Mikey's in my DMs right now telling me he's making excuses for losing because he drinks too much. He did play me drunk, so.
Have you seen the sack totals?
No, I have not.
I don't know how many. How many did Bosa end up having last year? For you?
God, I don't remember. I feel like it was like 25, 24 maybe.
So he's at 22 right now.
Oof.
But number one right now with 2 games left to play is Von Miller. He's got 33 sacks.
Yeah, I saw that on Daddy Leagues. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I've got 30.5 with Myles Garrett.
Dude,
but
that's crazy.
He's a freak. Yeah, that dude's a freak, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So real quickly, to round this out, because I forgot I wanted to do this, we'll just jump into the annual awards. So in the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Le'Veon Bell. Looks like Kareem Hunt's right there. John Ross, Breida, Eckler, and Lindsey. So, not too surprising. Defensive player, Von Miller, Myles Garrett. Man, Joey Bosa down at 5.
Should be in there.
Denzel Ward is not. Looks like a lot of defensive ends.
Should be, but
Jesse Bates is in there. Miles Jack, Casey Hayward, and Carl Lawson out of nowhere. Offensive Rookie of the Year. What is this trash? This Raiders guy has his wide receiver leading the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
86 overall wide receiver. What'd you do to that wide receiver, dude? Oh my God.
He's 0-14, and he's leading the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Go look that man up. Go look that man up real quick, Greg. I gotta know what's going on. Because my quarterback should be leading this. He's 11-2. He's clearly has more touchdowns than that guy does, and yards. And then my rookie behind him, wide receiver, which, like the last few games, he's not been getting much of anything. So I'm actually surprised he's as high as he is.
So this dude has 76 catches, which is actually quite a few catches. 1,321 yards.
Ooh.
8 touchdowns.
Huh. Then you got Braden Cousins for the Broncos, Niles McKinney for the Texans, Dante Blackshear for the Bengals. So, interesting. I'm going to have to, like, kneecap that McLaughlin guy. D-Roy, Javier Aldridge, Harry Otting, who I know is a X-Factor for Dar. And then Stuart James, your rookie. Who's this guy?
He's my strong safety.
Nice.
I'm doing work with him too. He's a hybrid.
New user player or what?
Oh yeah, I user the shit out of this guy.
Stephen Price for the Bengals, or not the Bengals, Ravens. Cassius Maynard for the Bills. 2 guys for the Bills. And then Raiders got another guy on there. And so does the Jets. Best QB, Jacoby Brissett, just like I said. He's a lock at the QB1 spot in fantasy, so use him up. Somehow I'm still up there. Lamar Jackson's at 4. Watson at 5. Mayfield at 6. So some good quarterback comp right there.
Mayfield should be higher. See that 13-0 record?
I know. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but Jump over the NFC. Best QB, Garoppolo. Yeah, it's probably his TD to INT ratio. Yeah, weird. JJ's Cam Newton. Jernigan's Matt Ryan. And then you got Dak Prescott, which is obviously Nova. Peanut Cheddar, making it with his 2-10 Carson Wentz. And then Ilstein with the best name quarterback of the league, the Clap.
Mark Clap. I like the Danny's in there with Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, no doubt. And then Kyler Murray, there's Cy, rounding it out. Best running back, Nick Chubb, not a surprise.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Pens at the top of both those lists.
Yeah, the new Giants owner with Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Devonta Freeman. JoJo, another, I think he might be an X Factor, Seahawks running back. Surprised he's not higher up on the list considering he's 12-1. Must like to pass. Oh, Jesus. And then the 49ers wide receiver, Marquise Goodwin, leading the pack there. 3 guys, number 1. Jesus.
I bet he's got number 1 offensive line. I bet it's Joe. Joe, whatever his name is. Oh, nope, it's the Cowboys guy.
And then you got Tyreek Hill, Peanut Cheddar. He's been definitely using him. Julio Jones. Yep, Jernigan's been using him. Michael Thomas, he was making my fantasy list quite a bit, but he dropped off. Freshly baked buns, not feeding my man. And Stephon Diggs is on the list somehow. How's that possible? Hey, look at Jewel, 7 and 8. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Not bad. And then, like you said, best O-line. Niners only have 1 guy right there.
Yeah, McGlinchey.
McGlinchey. So, unless you got something else to add, Greg, I think we're finished.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Right on. Well, let's get these games in, power on through to the off season, and let's dethrone Penn. What do you say?
I'm gonna do my best. Him and I have already been talking about possibly a Super Bowl. We're hyping it up if we both get there. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
This will be interesting because you and I haven't had to meet this season, have we? This year?
Correct. Yeah, it was last year's Madden that we played. I think we only played once.
Yeah. So I'm anxious. I am hoping to get a shot at you. So see if I can't burnish that record of yours.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a Patriots. Get to the Super Bowl undefeated and lose. That's gonna be how it goes.
Oh man. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Greg, and we are out of here.
Sounds good. See you later, guys.